Yo, stop scrolling. I need you to actually pay attention to this one because what I just watched might be the most surreal thing I've seen in boxing in a long time. Floyd Mayweather, 49 years old, 50-0, the most avoided man in the history of combat sports, just stepped back into a training camp. A real training camp. Not for an exhibition, not for some random guy nobody's heard of. For Manny Pacquiao. On Netflix, at the Sphere. September 19th. And I got the footage. So if you ever wanted to know what day one of the most anticipated boxing comeback looks like, you're in the right place. Let's get into it. What is going on, everybody? Welcome back to the channel. For those who are new here, we break down boxing, the real stuff, the business, the fights, all of it. And today we have something genuinely crazy to talk about. Floyd Mayweather's first day in training camp for the Manny Pacquiao rematch has been filmed, and it's doing numbers online right now. And honestly, I couldn't not talk about it. So grab a drink, sit down, because we are going deep on this. First, let me just paint the picture for you real quick so you understand the weight of what we're actually looking at here. It has been over a decade since Floyd Mayweather fought a real boxer. Think about that. The last time this man laced up against someone who was actually trying to take his head off in a professional fight was Andre Berto back in 2015. Then the Conor McGregor thing in 2017, which, look, entertaining, sure, but let's be honest, that was never a real fight. And since then, exhibitions, one after another. Logan Paul, Don Moore, various randoms in Dubai and Japan and wherever else Floyd could cash a check. None of it was serious. None of it was competitive. But this is different. This is a professional fight. This goes on his record. This is Floyd putting that 50-0 on the table for the first time in over 10 years. So when the cameras rolled on day one of camp, people were watching very, very closely. Okay, so let's actually get into what we're seeing from this training camp footage, because the first thing that jumps out, and I mean the first thing, is the atmosphere. This isn't relaxed. This isn't exhibition Floyd. You know that version of him that floats around the ring half asleep making dudes miss and laughing about it? The energy in this gym is different. You can feel it even through a screen. Roger Mayweather isn't around, obviously, God rest his soul, but the team around Floyd looks locked in. There's structure to this. There's a schedule. There's intention behind every drill you're watching. And that alone tells you something. Now, Floyd himself, and look, I'm not going to sit here and tell you he looks 25 because he doesn't, and neither of us should pretend otherwise, but he looks good. Like legitimately good. The hand speed is still there. I know everyone always says that about these older fighters coming back, but watch his mitts work. Watch the combinations. That snap is not gone. It has not left the building. The Philly shell, the shoulder roll, the way he's slipping punches, it's all still intact. And I was honestly a little surprised by that. Not shocked, but surprised. Because here's the thing, right? And this is what I keep going back to. Floyd has been doing exhibitions for so long that a lot of people, myself included at certain points, kind of wrote off the idea that he could still operate at any meaningful level. Like the exhibitions were so low stakes, so one-sided, that they almost became noise. You stopped being able to gauge where he actually was as a fighter because the competition wasn't telling you anything. But camp footage? Camp footage doesn't lie. You can't fake mitt work. You can't fake your reflexes reacting in real time. And what I'm seeing in these clips is not a 49-year-old man going through the motions. It's a guy who has been waiting for something real to train for. Now look, we all know, and I've talked about this before on the channel, the financial situation around Floyd right now is not pretty. The man is suing Showtime and Al Heyman for $340 million, claiming that money from his biggest fights was routed into accounts he couldn't access. There are tax issues. There are debt stories floating around. And yeah, money is clearly a factor in why this fight is happening. But here's where I push back on the narrative a little bit. Just because the money motivated the fight doesn't mean the fight isn't real. Floyd Mayweather's ego is the biggest thing in boxing. It always has been. You think he's going to walk into a professional fight on Netflix in front of what could genuinely be 150, 200 million viewers worldwide and not be completely locked in? Come on. His pride alone won't let him be embarrassed. And seeing day one of camp, you can tell he knows exactly what this moment is. And the reason this fight has genuine intrigue beyond just the names is Manny Pacquiao. Because Manny is not coming in here as some faded ghost of himself just looking for a payday. Last year, this man went 12 hard rounds with Mario Barrios, the WBC welterweight champion at the time. And a lot of people, myself included, thought Manny actually won that fight. Walked out with a draw. At 46 years old, against an active world champion. Now yes, you can make the argument that Barrios isn't exactly top tier, and Ryan Garcia kind of made that case for us when he completely dismantled him. But still, Manny competed. Manny showed he still has the engine, still has the power, still has those fast flurries that have given everyone nightmares for 20 years. So you've got Floyd coming off exclusively exhibitions versus Manny coming off an actual world title fight. That competitive edge? That's Manny's biggest advantage walking in, and Floyd's camp knows it. So when you're watching this camp footage, here's what you actually want to be paying attention to as it drops over the coming months. Number 1, Floyd's lateral movement. That's his whole game, always has been. Control the distance, make you miss, make you pay. If his legs are still there at 49, Manny's going to have another long, frustrating night. But if those legs have slowed down, and they will slow down, that's just Father Time doing his thing, then Manny has a genuine shot at cornering him and letting those hands go. Number 2, power shots. Floyd in his prime wasn't known for being a big puncher, but he was always more dangerous than people gave him credit for. Watch how he's loading up in these sessions. Is he looking to close shows, or is he still in that pure control mode? And number 3, conditioning. 12 rounds is 12 rounds regardless of how old you are. Pacquiao fought 12 rounds last year. Floyd hasn't done that since Berto in 2015. That cardio base needs to be rebuilt from the ground up, and that takes time. Camp is the only place that gets you there. Here's the real thing I want to leave you with though. Beyond the money, beyond the nostalgia, beyond even the fight itself, what we are watching right now is one of the most unique sporting events ever assembled. Netflix, the Sphere in Las Vegas, Mayweather versus Pacquiao. These are 3 things individually that each carry enormous weight. Combined, this is going to be a cultural moment. The first fight in 2015 had 4.4 million pay-per-view buys at $100 each. Do the maths on that. It was the highest grossing boxing event in history. And now that same fight, same fighters, same rivalry, same storyline of can Manny take that zero, is going to stream globally on a platform with 325 million subscribers. You're not paying $100. It's just there, on your TV, on your phone, on your laptop. The barrier to entry is basically nothing. The casual viewer who doesn't follow boxing but knows the names Floyd and Manny, they're watching. The international audience who couldn't justify the PPV price back in 2015, they're watching. This thing could genuinely do numbers we've never seen before in combat sports. And this is actually the segment I want to spend some real time on because nobody is talking about this enough. Sparring. Who is Floyd Mayweather sparring with to get ready for Manny Pacquiao? Because this is genuinely one of the most fascinating and difficult logistical problems any training camp has ever had to solve. Think about it. You need someone who can replicate what Manny brings. The relentless pressure, the southpaw stance, the volume, those left hands coming from angles that still don't make complete sense even when you watch them back in slow motion. You need a southpaw pressure fighter who is fast enough and skilled enough to actually push Floyd in the gym. And finding that specific profile of fighter who is also willing to spar with Money Mayweather, knowing full well that if word gets out you got touched up in sparring, the clips will be online before you even get back to the locker room, that is not an easy ask. So yeah, day 1 of training camp for Floyd Mayweather is in the books. And honestly, it's more encouraging than a lot of people probably expected. The man still looks sharp, the team looks serious. And with September 19th circled on everyone's calendar, the next few months of camp footage are going to be must-watch content. I'll be covering every drop that comes out, breaking it all down right here on the channel. So if you're not subscribed yet, just do it. Takes 2 seconds, and you won't miss anything as this whole thing builds. Drop in the comments, are you actually buying into Floyd still having it? Or do you think Manny's competitive edge from the Barrios fight gives him the advantage walking in? I want to hear what you guys think. I'll catch you in the next one.